Yo guys, what is up? Wild Will here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be going over my new keyboard, the Kludge RK68, and why I think it is almost perfect. It is a budget-friendly 65% keyboard, and I'm going to be reviewing it today. I've been using this keyboard for about a month and a half, and I've gotten used to it after previously owning a full-size keyboard. Being a full-size keyboard user basically my whole life. Come back to why I think I still am at the end of the video. But throughout this review, there will be timestamps where you can skip to any part as you like. So let's get over the basics. I bought this keyboard for about $77 Canadian on Banggood and took about 9 days to ship from China. I got this keyboard in white to fit the rest of my color scheme and fitted it with brown switches, which is one of the reasons why you can't beat this keyboard. They're more quieter than red or blue switches, and I feel they're more satisfying to type on. It's available in black as well as two other switches, red and blue, alongside a static blue version which is only available with the white version and the RGB version which is available in both black and white on Banggood. It's also Bluetooth compatible with just a toggle of a switch at the back of the keyboard, which means the cable is removable and not fixed within the keyboard. Once you want to charge the keyboard once again, you'll be alerted with a flashing light on the spacebar that it's recharging. The cable is a USB Type-C and is 6 feet long. This keyboard doesn't have legs on the bottom for height or angle adjustment. Instead, it has rubber feet so it doesn't slide, and the frame is already built within an angle. As I mentioned a few points ago, there are two versions of this keyboard, single blue backlit version and the RGB version. I went with the RGB version because I have a specific color I use for all my RGB components, which is needed with the program, and I'll go over that later. And the blue backlit version is a static blue, meaning you can only do the brightness or the speed. Being a 65% keyboard, this means it comes with 4 more keys, which are the tilde key, delete, page up, and page down. This keyboard is also compatible with Mac, and I will go over that more later on. Alright, now let's talk about what comes inside the box besides the obvious. It comes with a bag of 4 hot swappable switches of your keyboard for replacement, the keycap puller, and the Type-C USB cable and the manual. Some keybinds took a while for me to get used to, but I eventually got used to it. The function key will be your best friend with this keyboard, and pretty much all secondary functions will need this key. On the top, you have your numbers 1 through 0. You also have your multimedia keys and quick window shortcuts like mail and home. Pressing these keys will only work if you press function or FN plus left control. It will not work if you press right control. After you do this, the backlight will flash red to notify that you switched the modes. Then you are able to press FN plus the number of any of the secondary functions. Below that, you have QWE with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. These are to switch to any device via Bluetooth, which it can connect up to 5 devices at a time. You can also press R and T for the 4th and 5th device, just not sure why they didn't label them as well. Not like I'll be using Bluetooth anyways, but I'm sure others who do will like that. As I mentioned earlier, this keyboard is compatible with Mac devices, which you can see A and S are labeled with that. Pressing function plus A or S will also blink red, and you are now connected to your Windows or Mac computer. This keyboard also has a Windows button lock, which is pretty useful for those times where your fingers are all over the place during an intense and quick game. To toggle this, you just press function plus the Windows key and it will light up the same as you press the caps lock to notify that it is currently toggled on. Function plus backslash will change the backlight mode for quick access if you have the static blue version or don't have the program. There are 21 different effects, which I will go over right now. Alright, so some of the lighting effects are neon stream, ripples shining, rotating windmill, sine wave, rainbow roulette, stars twinkle, layer upon layer, rich and honored, marquee effect, rotating storm, serpentine horse, retro snake, diagonal transform, customize, ambient light, streamer, steady, breathing, neon, shadow disappear, flash away, and music, which is exclusive in the program. I have mine on diagonal transform. I just kind of like the wave on an angle and then it's slowly fading away with the lights in the background. Probably over time I'll switch to other ones, but currently I'm just going to stick to this. Function plus comma or the less than symbol will change the color of the preset with rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, turquoise, pinkish purple, and white. Function and left or right arrow will change the speed of the preset, and function plus up or down arrow will change the brightness. All these functions are in the program as well, but with a few more features that you cannot access on the keyboard. I won't go too much in depth in the program, but I'll quickly go over the basics, and at the end I'll explain why I don't really like it. When you first open up the program, it looks like this. This is like the home page. It says the connected device and what keyboard or you're connected to, and you can just press that and you'll be entered in the rest of the program. Left here we've got 3 different profiles. Thing is, I'm not too sure if they save every single time. I always delete them every time I close and reopen, and it doesn't stay like that. It always reopens with the 3 profiles, so I don't know if that's like a bug or something. Basically all in the profile, you can change whatever keybind can do what. You can right click and make it the default function, so you can reset it back to its original state. You can completely disable the key or custom function, and you can do whatever you want with that. I currently don't have any macros or profiles set. I just keep everything basic. So here, this is the macro list. So you can insert event before this. You can put in a key in there to do a specific function. And you have all your necessary controls here to add new macros, import a macro that's saved on your computer, or you can export it after you save it. Also, I don't have any macros. I literally just left everything as is. And here, this is the RGB lighting effect area where you still have the effects on your keyboard with function and backslash. You can see the actual names here, and on the bottom you have all these controls. So you have the light brightness. You can still do that with function and up or down arrow with 5 different levels. I always keep mine at 5. The animation speed, I always had it at 3, but because like the profiles, every time you reopen the program it doesn't save for some reason, so it's always just back to 4. But you can still do this with function and left or right. And sleep time, I always have that 30 minutes, so if you're AFK for this long, then that's when it will turn off. But it's always at 10 minutes for some reason, so I don't know, no sleep. You can do that. I always have mine at 30 minutes, but it doesn't even work. So, and then on the right side over here, you have all your specific colors, which is why I wanted the RGB version. So this is like my colors I put for all my RGB peripherals: 0, red, green, 100, and blue 255. Because that's what it looks with regular blue. So I always keep it custom, or you can do the RGB, which is color mixing, and that's basically like the default presets you can do here, rainbow roulette. And then under here you can, this is like a mix between the profiles and the lighting effects, so you can do a custom lighting effect. So if you select the arrows here, and you can, I don't know why Starry Night didn't work, but if you want specific keys to do any of these lighting controls, then you can do so. So right now it's like breathe and green right here, you can see on the screen. And yeah, you can make it so it's RGB color mixing. That's what it means. So it mixes all the colors of the rainbow. And then right in the bottom you have your settings, so you can select your language. It's set on this before. This is like traditional Chinese or something, I don't know. You can set it to auto run, which I do, but it doesn't even save any of the settings, so it doesn't really matter. And then you can even reset your keyboard data or restore factory settings if you have any problems with your keys or the firmware or something like that, which you can also update right here. And it says it's currently updated. Do you want to update it again? No. And software update, you can manually do it there. It will notify you when you do have an update available. All right, now with all that important stuff out of the way, let's do a little typing test so you guys can hear how it sounds with the brown switches. Now I'm going to go over all the cons of this keyboard and explain why I think I'm still a full-size keyboard user. Don't get me wrong, this keyboard is still great for the price, but just some things that can be improved for the future. Number 1, the white RGB. It's not even white, it's like a faded pink color. Not sure why that is, but all the other colors look normal. Just whenever you press the caps lock, it's just pink. So if you're picking up this keyboard and matching it with the white RGB, I'd probably recommend to go with something else until they fix this through like a software firmware update or a future product. Number 2, the secondary keys are really annoying to use. As I mentioned earlier, to use any of the multimedia keys, you need to press function and left control. It will then flash and let you know to press function plus the secondary keys again. Can't press them with the function keys even though you switch modes and already can't press the numbers, which I find really inconvenient, and you won't know what mode you're on again until you press the numbers and find out that it isn't doing the function you want it to. Number 3, this kind of goes with the second point, but to switch modes, why do you need to press function and left control when there's literally a control button next to the function key? That just doesn't make any sense. Number 4, now this originally wasn't going to be added to this list, but while making this video I looked down at the W key and saw that the number 2 for the device connectivity is already fading away after only 1 month of use. It's probably going to be completely gone until I get new keycaps. Just something to take into consideration that it's printed on the key and not transparent font like the letters of each key. Number 5, the program is probably the worst thing about everything. The software on the official Royal Kludge keyboard website was only available for the blue backlit version, which the README says depending on your SN code at the back, you need to use a specific software they provide. After following the SN code, I ran it and it prompted to a window that was what I'm assuming was Chinese and only had one button at the bottom that just closed the window. Now I installed it again, but it didn't even open up at all. In order to get the real software, I had to email customer support, in which they gave me a link to a Royal Kludge website I couldn't even find searching up. This had 3 drivers, with one being RGB and 2 firmwares only being the single LED, but had 2 different PIDs. I found my PID in Device Manager and installed the driver to see if it needed to get updated. Turned out that the driver was the actual software and the firmware was really the driver, although you can update it in the program. It was all super confusing, and I just don't get why they don't have everything on their official website and why doesn't their software work for all of their products. Now this is just personal preference, but the reason why I keep saying I think I'm still a full-size keyboard user because the jump from 100% to 65% was bigger than I thought. By now I'm already used to the size, but certain shortcuts like saving replays and shadow play is more inefficient. I could just change a keybind, but after years and years of using Alt F10, it's just muscle memory at this point and I'm used to it. Another thing is the multimedia keys being shared on the same button. Because I have 2 monitors, I usually watch YouTube or listen to music while playing games, but without the quick access of pausing the video through the button, I gotta stop playing, go to my other monitor, manually press the video or song to pause it, then returning back to my main monitor. I don't even bother trying to use the multimedia keys on this because it's such a pain. Again, these are just personal preference, so this isn't going to stop everyone from buying this keyboard, but without the cons I listed, I think it would be a 10 out of 10 keyboard. But if you're searching for a 65% keyboard with future proofing like hot swappable switches and under $100 Canadian, then I would say go for this keyboard. And that's my review on the RK68 keyboard. If you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to give it a like. If you guys are going to pick it up, leave in the comments down below. Subscribe for more reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.